You're not crazy for feeling that something is coming. With stock markets crashing, global tensions on the increase, and regarding the price of goods, out of control. But while most persons panic later, you are here now because you are going to be prepared. In this video, I am going to be telling you 10 essential items that you must stock up on right now because of how expensive they are going to be getting in the near future, or that they might not be available any at all coming soon. So stay tuned. Life hacks, where we take the next steps needed to go towards our financial freedom and our success. Imagine waking up one day and finding your supermarket shelves empty. Whether it be medication, toiletries, essential food supplies, this is something that is not science fiction, it is a potential situation that we are heading towards. Economists are warning that a recession is near, and if so many experts are warning and they are predicting it, then we need to listen. Because we do not want a situation whereby in previous years, we had limited or no supply of certain items and it left us wanting and unable to provide for our family. Today, we are going to be looking at 10 items that you must stock up on right now so that you can have significant savings in the future, because they're going to go up anyway. Or it is that you can ensure that you have them in a supply because they could very well not be available any at all in the near future. So again, I mentioned this is not about being fearful or panicking. It is being responsible adults and knowing that we need to have ourselves prepared for the future. If it is that you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And we are not going to be caught in that situation now. So grab your paper and pen and let's start with the very first item. Now, the very first one is what we all need. Not want, but we need, and that is food. Especially for me, I know that I live to eat and not eat to live. So therefore, we are going to be stocking up on those non-perishable items. And these will include things like canned meats, rice, pastas, oatmeal, those things that you know are bare minimum essentials for your household, and they're not going to be spoiling easy. If you look at the best before date on many of these canned items, you will realize that they have a 2 to 3 year advance date on them, so therefore you can stock up on these items. Remember as well that these are items that you normally use in your meal preparation right now, so therefore if it is that you purchase them now, even if nothing happens in the near future, you realize the prices are going up every week. So therefore, you must realize just by common sense, if you have the disposable income to invest in those items now, you are seeing savings by not buying them for the higher prices in the near or far future. So it's not even say you're going to be wasting your money, it's going to be an investment and ultimately a saving. The second item that you're going to be stocking up on right now is going to be water and water filtration systems. Now, any disruptions in supply is going to mean that you're going to be out of water. And you very well know that you can live longer without food, but you cannot live long without water. Therefore, it only makes sense that you keep an adequate supply of water so that you do not run out in case there is a shortage or in case there's just any threat of any emergencies and persons start to stockpile these items, or the suppliers and the stores, they start to do price gouging. Now, one backup system, and that is why I mentioned water filtration, is that even if you don't get enough supply of water, at least a good water filtration system that you can attach to your pipes can very well save your life. Now, FEMA recommends that you must have 1 gallon per day per person in your household. So do the math and make sure that you have enough of a supply. Your third item is going to be prescription medication, first aid supplies, and your supplements. Now, what you may not realize is that many supplements and medications are actually imported from China. Now, if there are tariffs being implemented on China and also India, you will realize that there's going to be a significant increase in the price of your prescription drugs. You didn't know that, did you? Look at the back of your supplements or your prescription drugs, and you will realize that most of them are saying manufactured in China or in India. So therefore, with these threats of tariffs against these countries, they are going to also be reflected in the price of these items. So I would recommend that you keep at least a 90-day supply of all your prescription drugs and start stocking up on your supplements and your first aid items, because if there is any civil unrest, you might not be able to get these items and you might have to be treating yourself if there is a backlog or if there is a demand and pull on the health services sector. Also, with these layoffs that are happening, you are not sure if these health services centers, if they're going to be having reduced staff, therefore longer waiting times to see patients. So you must be self-sufficient and be able to sustain and take care of yourself by stocking up on these items. Let's look at an example. In 2020, when there was the crisis, diabetic supplies saw a drastic increase of over 200%. So therefore, these are things that have happened in the past. So we are not being unrealistic that you need to stock up on these items while they are now at a lower price. The fourth item is going to be toiletries and hygiene supplies. And these items are going to be like toilet paper, toothpaste, soaps, diapers, feminine hygiene products, and wipes. Now, in terms of diapers, I would recommend that you stagger or stage the amounts that you're going to be purchasing. Do not stock up on only the current size that your baby wears, because remember, they're going to be growing. So you might be overstocked and small when they progress to medium or large, but anticipate that they're going to be growing and buy larger sizes so that they can grow into them. Remember as well that the worst thing is not to have diapers for your baby, because you're going to have to be cleaning a lot of poop. The fifth item is going to be batteries and flashlights. Why? If there is any instability in the supply of energy, then you could very well be having a problem. Especially those cities or states that are being supplied by Canada. With the trade war that is happening, and Canada has actually hinted and threatened that they will be cutting energy supply to these areas, then you, especially in those states, you need to make sure that you have adequate supply of batteries and other energy sources. So if you can invest in a generator, invest in a generator. If it is that you can invest in solar panels for your house, I would advise that now is the time that you go ahead and invest in that as well. But outside of that, stock up on your AA, your AAA, your D-size batteries. Get enough flashlights for each room in your house. And also, I would invest in those rechargeable bulbs that you would actually screw them into the outlets and they work with the same power switch and can give you hours of supply, so that you're not left in darkness if there's a power outage, especially at night, for your own security. Now, on the same pathway of your insecurity regarding energy and fuel, your sixth item is going to be stocking up on fuel and propane. I would recommend that you keep extra propane tanks so that you can at least have gas supply for your stove so you can cook. Also, I would recommend that you keep some extra gallons of fuel within your home, storing them safely though, so that you can have a backup in case there's a shortage supply or a price spike in terms of fuel. Remember back in 2022, gas prices spiked by over $1.40 per gallon just by global tensions and sanctions that existed. So therefore, if it happened then, you need to be prepared for it now, especially because of the trade war and also the increase in global tensions that are occurring by the day. Your seventh item is going to be cleaning supplies. And why is this important? In a recession, the healthcare sector slows down drastically because they're understaffed, persons are demotivated, and they're not coming out to work as much. So therefore, as I mentioned before, the healthcare system, it starts to go at a snail's pace. Therefore, you must be self-sufficient to take care of yourself. Therefore, the cleaner that you keep your environment and home, it is the less susceptible you are to diseases and infections. So it is in your best interest that you keep your environment clean. Therefore, these things that I would recommend are like bleach, laundry detergent, and disinfectant sprays. I would also add to this gloves and masks. Remember in the crisis a few years ago how we were drastically reduced in terms of the supply of masks and the prices spiked extremely. Therefore, it only makes sense that you stock up on these items. Now, one person that we must not forget in our household, and that leads us into the eighth item, is pet food and supplies, because they are our family members as well. And sometimes we forget that they need to eat and drink as well. Now remember in 2023 when there was a backlog in the supply of containers that we saw pet food running low for several months. So therefore it can very well happen again. Stock up on pet food, especially those dry food, or those canned foods as well that have extended shelf life dates that you will not be losing, because as I mentioned before, the price is going to be going up anyway. Your pets have to eat, so why not stock up on these items, because they are instant savings, because you're not going to be paying a higher price in the near future. Your ninth item is going to be cash on hand. It is always wise to stay liquid. I would recommend that you keep approximately $500 at least as your cash in hand so that you can cover any emergencies. Also remember that in a recession and in financial instability, you can have financial institutions that can go under. So therefore, to protect yourself and your family, always keep some amount of cash on hand so that you can cover emergency expenses or sustain yourself if it is that you are not able to access your bank accounts. Remember what happened in Lebanon in 2019 in their financial crisis, that even though persons had money in their accounts, they could not access it and they were sent into a crisis. So follow what happened with them and make sure it does not happen to you. Your 10th item that you're going to be stocking up on are basic tools and home repair supplies, because in a time of recession as well, when labor is short or there are going to be increases in labor costs, you need again to be self-sustainable so that you can do minor repairs around your household and not have to be relying on tradesmen who are going to be charging an increased price, plus supplies might not be readily available for them to use in terms of doing the repairs for you. So these items would be like hammer, nails, ropes, duct tape, wrench sets, those things that are commonplace items in minor home repairs. So again, you don't have to be paying exorbitant prices for tradesmen to be doing the work for you. So there you have it, the 10 items that you need to stock up on right now, because my viewers, the signs are everywhere. You're not blind. Well, I at least hope that you're not. Global tensions rising, inflation. Every day you go to the supermarket or to the hardware store, you are realizing that things are increasing every day, every week. So it only makes sense, it's common sense actually, that if you have the disposable income, invest it. It's not even an expense. You are making an investment in things that you would use anyway, that you are going to have to be paying a higher price for in the future. So give yourself the savings right now. It's also not about panicking. And I don't want anyone to believe that I'm spreading fear and propaganda. It is just common sense that until we know for sure where the economy is heading and what the future holds for us, it only makes sense that we be prepared. If we fail to plan, we plan to fail. Thank you for the privilege of your time that you have spent with me today. I really enjoyed presenting this information to you. If you know of anyone that might benefit from this, please share it with them. Also, subscribe to the channel that you can be kept up to date in terms of trending topics and that you can be prepared for what might happen in the future. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.